Hey, Jazzy.
Hi, Uncle Ebony. I was just wondering, will I grow up to be a big, strong, Texas Jumbo Forever guitar pick just like you?
It doesn't matter how big you are, son. It matters what you're made of. If you don't agree that Forever Pick is the most awesome tone-producing, mind-twisting tool you've ever strummed across your strings, Luthier Robert S. Paul stands behind it. You get a full refund. Click below and save now.
Hey, y'all. It's Shitpost Friday.
Could I speak to Brad?
Hello everybody, Brad the Guitologist here. It's time for your favorite internet guitar show, Shitpost Friday. As many of you probably know, this weekend is NAMM weekend, so out in California everyone is rushed out there, so that leaves the rest of the country to us. And I officially declare this channel a no NAMM zone. You will hear nothing on this channel about the new Fender Acoustasonic guitars. You will hear nothing about the new lineup of Gibson and how they pared a lot of things down and added tremolo systems to SGs, and you'll hear none of this stuff on this channel. NAMM free zone, everybody. First up in the news, sadly, the famed session guitarist Reggie Young, who is thought to be possibly the most recorded session guitarist of all time, has passed away at the age of 82. He's probably most famous for playing on songs such as Dobie Gray's Drift Away. He also did work with Elvis Presley, John Prine, Paul Simon, Bob Dylan. I mean, basically the who's who of who's who. He's played with all of them. He did center around Nashville for a long, long time, Memphis. He also played a lot of Muscle Shoals sessions. In that time, he played with literally just like everybody. In fact, there's a whole website dedicated to this guy. You can go on it. It is reggieyoung.org. And basically, this is the discography project that is just, I guess it's just getting started because they barely have even scratched the surface of all of the stuff that he's done. But apparently he kept records of all the sessions that he did over the years, beginning in like 1964. But he did a lot of sessions even before he started keeping his own records. But they're trying to collate everything that he's ever done onto one website, and it's just a mammoth task by the look of it. This guy was so utterly prolific. You can't turn on a radio station, whether it's country, whether it's oldies, whether it's some modern rock stuff even, where you won't hear this guy at least one time within an hour. Played on Elvis Presley's Suspicious Minds, played on In the Ghetto, Dusty Springfield's Son of a Preacher. He played a lot with Dolly Parton, did entire albums with a lot of country artists throughout the 70s, 80s, 90s. He did all of the old outlaw country stuff like Willie and Waylon. He did a lot of stuff for Johnny Cash. He did the Highwaymen Project. He played on all those albums. Just an extremely prolific guitar player. Really sad that he has passed away, but he has left behind quite the legacy, and you guys should definitely go check out this guy, Reggie Young. In a bit of good news, however, we did get word that Lee Kerslake, who played on the first two Ozzy Osbourne solo albums and was not credited for those albums on the records themselves, and did not receive his platinum albums when those records became double, triple, quadruple platinum and so forth, has finally gotten his platinum album. So Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne listened to the internet. They heard Mr. Kerslake's plea. He's only got months to live, and it was one of his final wishes to be attributed to those albums as he should have been, and sent his records, his platinum albums, and they actually did that for him, and it's really, really nice of them to do that. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Ozzy. That's really awesome of you guys. I know sometimes it's hard when you've got a long history of animosity with somebody and things happen in the past, and you feel like all you've ever gotten from a person maybe is headaches, but for you to do this, that shows a lot of heart, and it shows that you aren't quite as bad as some people thought you might have been. And I did not want to be in a position where I had to dislike one of my metal heroes, my metal icons from my early days, Ozzy Osbourne. So this makes it a lot easier. So thank you guys for helping out Mr. Kerslake. They're really cool. You can actually go see his interview with Eddie Trunk where he talks about this and other things as well. I will put links down in the description. A couple bits of funny news that involve, well, it's not really funny, I guess, probably to the people that were targeted, but a Texas man has pled guilty to impersonating celebrities in order to get Martin guitars and other products for free. For instance, if you're a big star, a touring musician, if you're sometimes even like a B-list star, or if you're a YouTube personality and things like this, sometimes you can call up the companies and you can get free things. You can get also things on accommodated discount pricing as well if you want. But this guy, he had such a big nut sack. He's been calling up Martin guitars like several times over the years, trying to get free stuff from Martin. He's done a lot of posing. He's posed as a member of 3 Days Grace, a member of the band Memphis Mayfire, on separate occasions trying to get free stuff out of Martin. He was at first asking for like $440 guitars and that kind of price range, like their X series, but then he kind of stepped it up at one point. And I guess they caught up with this guy because they finally have arrested him. He's going to be going to prison, I think. And it's going to be a federal offense, too, because he's used, it's like wire fraud, because he's used phone lines and everything to call these companies across state lines. So he's going to be pretty screwed. I think it says here he acquired more than $18,000 worth of goods that he would turn around and sell to pawn shops. But yeah, he apparently did end up getting some guitar stuff, not from Martin, but from another guitar maker, Strandberg Guitars. He got some other stuff from other companies as well, not guitar related. He got stuff like sporting goods, like baseball gloves and stuff like this. He also hit up Orange Music Electronics. He got an amplifier from them for worth about $700. So so he should be going to federal prison. And then you've got this other guy. I think he actually hit multiple music stores, but he went into this particular one, and they got some video of him doing it. But check this out. This guy would shove Stratocasters and stuff down his pants and then have the gall to go up and talk to the owner.
The shoplifter stuffed the $1,400 guitar down his pants.
We weren't expecting to have to look for someone to have a guitar down his pants.
Take a look at the security video. You can see the crook with his back to the camera. When he turns around, he covers the guitar up with his coat and limps off.
Probably takes him about 20 seconds before, from pickup to put it in his pants, zipped up and adjusted. It's kind of weird, impressive, but weird.
He says even weirder, the thief hung around while the guitar was in his pants.
The crazy thing was, on his way out, he sat and talked with my guitar guy up front.
Now Laughlin is hoping somebody recognizes the crook and the shop can get its guitar back on the wall.
So yeah, you big cojones on this guy too, but they're still looking for him. So if you guys are in the Brentwood, Tennessee area and you recognize this asshole, do him a favor and turn him in. This I thought was somewhat interesting. Guitar Center is back in the acquisition business here, apparently. They have acquired a company called Tunnel Vision Technology Incorporated, or TVTI. What they do is pro audio and video installation. So they will go into like theaters that are being renovated, or they'll go into churches, or any other venue that wants audio and visual equipment installed permanently. They will go in and assess everything that's needed, probably do acoustic damping and all that kind of stuff like in one swoop. I know for a fact that it's a lucrative part of the business of running a music store. If you can get the churches kind of, coming to you for their stuff, you're going to be a lot better off. And Guitar Center's probably, this is what they're doing. They're trying to make a play in the Midwest so that they have the people on hand who can go and visit these places, do assessments, and do these installations. It's probably money well spent on their part, but I just don't know where they're getting the money to do this. Once again, they're supposed to be technically in default. I don't know if they're borrowing more to do this. I don't know if they've just had a particularly good year, in 2018, which they did survive 2018, so they've outlasted my prediction. I think it's next year, 2020, is when the bulk of their repayments are actually due. So we'll see what happens then. But I would say, when their repayments are due, they're, if they don't have some incredible years here and are able to build up some revenue from sales, I don't see them being able to pay back some of this money. They're probably going to end up in the same sort of situation that Gibson found itself, where they were sort of, taken over. Or they had to give these other companies, these debtors, a piece of the pie. They made it through 2018, so I guess they deserve applause for that, and they're buying companies. So, also in the news, I ran across this story, which I thought was somewhat interesting. I'm not much of an Avril Lavigne fan per se, but I thought it was funny the way that this article was written, because it's written by an obvious feminist woman. And she's kind of just going off on Avril Lavigne for posing naked with a guitar. Admittedly, I think posing women with guitars naked and all this stuff is really a passé thing. I put these sorts of pictures up in the front of my Shitpost Fridays because, partially because I know my target audience. I know like 95% of my audience, or maybe even as much as 97%, are male. And I know your age ranges and everything as well, so I know you appreciate these kinds of photos in that way. But also, I realize that these are totally passé. This is not, put it this way, it's not art. I wouldn't classify this as art. But this is what she chose to do for her, I guess, the cover of her new album. And it's funny the way that she's lambasted, because you can really tell this person has a grudge against, like, the pretty girl.
So what does this particular pose mean? A number of things, actually, none of them particularly heartening. It means you are allowed to love your body if that's if you're slim and conventionally attractive blonde white woman. It means women are allowed to play musical instruments, but only if they're also willing to use them as a saucy prop.
Which that's not true. She's just trying to get the most attention she could possibly get in a musical landscape that is just oversaturated.
It means that women should be naked before they're comfortable and vulnerable before they're powerful. All of which means that the patriarchy is still winning. God damn those guys.
What's your name? Let me just address you by name here. Leonie Cooper. Listen, Leonie Cooper. No one held a gun to Avril Lavigne's head to force her to do this. She did this of her own volition. Nobody held a gun to her head and said, hey, you're going to be a musician instead of a factory worker. So I don't see what you're bitching about. Maybe you should change your pad or something like that. I don't know what it is that's crawled up your ass and died. But something clearly has. You have a problem with pretty white blonde girls. So maybe acquire some talent somewhere. Maybe you're just jealous of Avril Lavigne's talent. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But from what I see, this lady has as much power as anyone. She's a star. Something I can't say I am. So it can't be all about the patriarchy. But bottom line is, no one forces her to do this. No one forces anybody to do anything like this in modern day, Western civilization. So get over it. All right, guys, well, that'll do it for the news. Here lately, I have not been going on Facebook very much, and some of you guys who message me on Facebook probably realize this by the infrequency with which I answer questions. I just find Facebook to be just an odious website. I don't like going to it. I don't like supporting it. I hate that Zuckerberg fuck. I can't stand the look of his face. I think he's a lizard in disguise.
I am not a lizard.
All of those things, I just can't stand it, and I don't want to support it. So I've basically taken everything off of there except for my business stuff. I'll go and comment on other people's posts, but I've tried not to make my own posts, yada, yada, yada. But I thought this was funny. This is in the Guitar Players on Facebook group, and I just happened across it. And this person is asking, guitars get chicks? ? You got just a bevy of comments. Well, first of all, this person is not a guy. This is a girl asking this question. Now, obviously, this is a bot account of some kind, but guitars get chicks? ? It's Steven Smith, and he's quick to pipe up. Hell yeah, guitars get chicks.
2 chicks at the same time, man.
And you get yes. 4 years of playing can tell you it's all a lie, says Martin Vivig. Anatoly Brown seems to think that you could get chicks with a guitar up until about 1993. I don't know why he draws the line at 1993 or what happened in 1993. Maybe that's the last time he got laid. Just a lot of people in this thread just not getting laid. We're women, not chicks. That's the first problem. And of course, yours truly could not help but chime in on this one. Yes, guitars get chicks. Just make them clean your guitar and they'll love you for it. Alright, that'll do it for this Shitpost Friday. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Hit subscribe and the bell to receive all notifications down below if you have. Also, go over to my second channel this weekend. I might post some other stuff that's just kind of outtakes from this Shitpost Friday that didn't get used. So definitely subscribe over there so you can keep up with other updates over there. But for now, y'all take care.